Welcome to the White Lotus channel. Thanks for being here. Let's have a conversation. This seems to come up a lot on Twitter and a lot of different things, gaming communities as a whole, that something is fair or unfair, which typically, not all the time, words mean things. Typically, fair and unfair there's a correlation with fun and unfun. And it appears that we're not always understanding or defining the rules by what we mean as fair and unfair, fun, unfun. So just to start the conversation, I'm more interested in what everyone else thinks versus what I think, because I know what I think. But I found something on Reddit that my son shared with me. So I'm just going to read it real quick. So the only question that we're wanting to ask right now are these rules or parameters or principles, can this be a working guideline of what is fair and unfair? I'm not talking about fun, unfun, boring, not boring, what your experience is, what you want to get out of it. That's not what it's about. We just got to start with the ground floor. So the question is this parameter that this person lays out, his name is Rentar42, 5 years ago, is this a working definition of fair and unfair? I'll begin. Generally speaking, a fair deck Generally speaking, a fair deck follows all the implied rules of Magic. It casts its spells by paying mana. It drops a single mana source each turn, which is a land. It kills the opponent by hitting them with creatures. If stuff goes to the graveyard, that usually means it's gone, and getting something back is rare and a one-off. They care about having a stronger board presence than the opponent because that's how they usually win. Classical fair decks are mid-range decks, Jund for example, but in my opinion, also control decks. Unfair decks cheat those rules on some level. They try to kill the opponent by comboing off with some interaction that's hard to interact with. They produce much more mana than is reasonable in a given turn, such as going infinite. They often don't care about the current board state because their win condition is indifferent of the board. The classical unfair decks are combo decks, but also something like Bridgevine, because it doesn't usually cast its creatures by paying the mana cost, or at least not the full cost. It's important to note that while unfair has negative connotation in general speech, that is not usually the case in Magic. It's just a description of the deck's game plan, not a moral judgment. So the beginning question is, can we use those parameters for a place to start the conversation with? Thanks for being here. Stay safe and be well.